As the leader of the Booner Path, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juice pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports with Jeff and Booner. It is Wednesday, October 22nd. Pistons opening night.
Here we go.
Bulls. It's the day of the doc. John Maakaron joins today. We'll talk Detroit Lions football with him, bye week plans, etc. It'll be great. The Red Wings are also on. I mean, we have so much stuff going on a Wednesday. And if you're deciding to hang with us while watching the games, we appreciate it. But I'm feeling good. I like the hat, Boon. You got your Pistons hat on.
Yeah, no, thank you, dude. I mean, I'll say this. I haven't worn hats in a while. Like, I just realized I used to be a hat guy. Switched from a hat guy for the longest time. I kind of might buy some new hats and I might become a hat guy again.
Wow.
I don't know. How does the hat look? I like it.
Love that hat.
I was looking at some hats today. There's some nice hats online. I need to get a Wings hat. I need to get another Pistons one, Lions one, I actually have a stack of hats next to me. Do you want to see some?
Yeah, what else you got over there?
Okay, hold on.
I know you have your ball knower one. We know that.
Yeah, I don't have that here.
Legendary hat. I mean, this guy's got a stack of hats.
Can we go through hats real quick?
Ready to go. I mean, what are we?
Do you want me to go through all the hats just real quick?
Let's see this. Okay. Yeah.
That's a good hat.
Yeah, I would say that. Let's just see the others. And we'll get back to that one. Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot.
Tigers.
Love that one.
Okay.
All right, love that one.
Crunch Time.
Come on, it's number one.
Good
love
one.
That.
All right, cool.
Fire hat.
Another Tigers hat. This one's a little beat up. This is like an old hat.
Like it.
Crunch
Not
Time?
bad. That's up there too. It's top two. I mean, like we got these the Crunch Time.
Grit.
That's up there too. Grit. Love that hat. Where's that one at? You know what I mean? We don't wear that one. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
what are we doing?
I never wear it. How about this one? It's my ref hat.
You look like you're about to ride a horse or something. I don't know. Is that what the jockey?
So
wears?
it's so messed up because it was just sitting over here. I think it's gotten stepped on a million times.
Wow.
Look how uneven that bill is.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Last hat. I got this hat.
Yeah.
I like this hat. This is a good hat.
That's a nice hat.
All right. But we'll go Pistons today.
There you go.
That's a collection of my hats at the office here.
I'm fired up, man. The season's here. I'm excited to see. We were talking a little bit before the show, kind of like some of the players we're kind of looking forward to see. Like obviously the Pistons are favored tonight. I think they're going to win this game, but more specifically, something I'm very intrigued to see. It's not Cade Cunningham. He's going to get 30 tonight. It's a given. Like we know what we're getting out of Cade on a night tonight. Yeah. He's going to get better. But for me, I want to see Jalen Duren personally. I think I talk a lot about Asar Thompson. He's up there. But for me, Jalen Duren, he's been working on that jumper in the offseason. I know we've been teased it for multiple off seasons. I just want to see him. I want to see him take these 15-foot spot-up jumpers. Just make this defense, make them respect you a little bit. All right? These mid-range, midi pull-ups. Like, I want to see Jalen Duren improve in that area, display some of that jumper that we've been getting teased about, which, by the way, no shot at Andre Drummond. I don't want to take a shot at him. Jalen Duren's jumper looks a lot better than what Andre Drummond displayed here in Detroit. It actually looks more natural. So I'm excited for Jalen Duren tonight. I want to see what we get out of the big fella.
Yeah.
I told you 15-15.
You did. Yeah, you definitely did. I'm pumped up for Pistons season. I love the Pistons. We talk about it all the time. Pistons were my first team that I really got into growing up. So I'm pumped up. And the fact, too, this is the first season since I don't know when. I would even say before Blake Griffin, because Blake Griffin, like, there was the hype for sure. But, like, there's actually, like, in this season, it's like Eastern Conference Finals, like, type hype, right? Like, the Celtics know Jason Tatum for who knows how long. You're probably a top 3 or 4 team in the East right now if you're playing at your best. So the hype is there. Listen, the Jalen Duren thing, Jeff, okay. My worry is mid-range, okay, we can deal with that and we can just test it out a little bit. If you start leaking out a little bit more, I'm out. Like I don't want to get and you know what? There was this whole experiment with Isaiah Stewart where there was like he can shoot the midi, he could shoot the three, he can stretch it, and it just turned into him just no matter what, whether he could shoot or not, just shooting 4 or 5 threes a game in mid range. Like he was just like pulling it, and it was like, dude, that's just not your game. And now he doesn't at all, which it was like whoever did that. I don't want it to turn into that with Jalen Duren. I want Jalen Duren to be like our I don't know, like our Rudy Gobert, like just dominate inside. And we can go get a stretch 4 to stretch the floor if that's what we really want.
I think Isaiah Stewart, the reason why he was taking those threes is because they were trying to make him a stretch 4.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what my worry is. I don't want them to do that. Don't force Duren to be a stretch 5. Let him be his game.
Maybe not just a complete, like, I'm not talking about Brook Lopez, but I'm talking about Bam Adebayo.
No.
Okay, well, you can't just say because it didn't work for Isaiah Stewart.
Got it like that. We haven't seen ever Bam. You saw it right away with Bam in the NBA. Like that wasn't something that Bam was just like, hey, I'm just going to get this in my bag in year 4. Like
so
Bam,
you're saying bigs that can shoot, most of them just came in a league with a jumper. Is that what you're saying?
They had the mechanics and the tech. They had it.
Mechanics look good.
I would like to see more. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's bad. I did start this whole thing off by saying I'm okay with them trying it out, but there's a short leash. There should be a short leash on it, and it's like, all right, let's just see how it goes. But like, you just can't get into an Isaiah Stewart thing where it's like, hey, green light, go ahead, bud, and it's like you're losing games or like you're like, nope, I'm out on it if that's the thing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't think he's just going to be Brook Lopez, like just spot up at the 3.
I don't think it would be Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo has a nice midi. And he's had one since day one.
You can't say this guy, he ain't going to be bad. He can't take mid-range jumpers. He's like 20. How old is Jalen Duren? I mean, he's got so much room.
I get it, but like, dude, like in the NBA, like, and this is like, it's like with Andre Drummond. Like even Andre Drummond at one point was like trying to figure out mid-range. Like
mechanics.
But what I'm saying, Jeff, is like.
What are you saying?
It's hard just like 4 or 5 years into a career. What is he going into, year 4, year 3?
Yeah, year 4.
Year 4, like it's hard just to be like, hey, I'm going to be a mid-range shooter now. Like you can develop it for sure, but I'm not gonna say Bam because Bam really does have a legit like knockdown mid-range.
You do realize
I think you need to use a different comp
to develop a 3. You realize that, right?
I never even look at Bam as knocking down threes. I'm talking about mid-range.
But we're talking about, let's focus on, we're not talking about a guy, again, Booner, we're not talking about Brook Lopez. He's going to shoot 6 threes a game.
I know. You were calling him Bam Adebayo, who has a very good mid-range.
Yes.
I don't think I don't like Bam. How many mid-ranges Bam shoot a game? 5, 6? I don't know if Jalen Duren will ever do that.
But he started doing that, and we're talking like Bam didn't do that right away. Bam developed that.
I think he did. As early as I remember Bam always had a mid-range.
So what you're saying is
I just think maybe let's find a different comp. How about that? Let's get to a different comp.
I'm just going with Bam's a 6'9". He's a big, but he's athletic.
Let's find a different comp. I don't like that comp. I'm out on that comp.
So what's a better comp? Rudy Gobert is a bad comp. So let's get that out of the way.
Well, no, I think that's like what he is. Like, no, and then if he wants to develop into a different type of style of a player, we can have that conversation.
Rudy Gobert's like a throwback play around the rim guy. That's it. But he's a way better.
Yeah, but I think that's like that's what Jalen Duren's like elite at is. But
Jalen can pass. Like he averages like what he averaged last year. I mean, I know we joked with Caleb about it, but he had multiple games with good amount of assists. Like he's doing pretty good. I think the last month of the year he averaged.
Yeah, listen, offensively, and Rudy, it's not a bad thing to be like Rudy. Like Rudy will average 13, 15 a game. Like I think like him back the basket, dunking, getting out, coming off a pick and roll, ooping like Rudy. Like that's what and if you want to add a different player to add that mid range and to make it feel a little bit better for you, we could definitely do that for you. Let's think of a different comp though. Can we just think of a different comp?
I mean, I'm trying to give you a comp of a player that I think he can be similar of. That's what a comp is. I don't have what do you want me to say? I mean,
what about like Zubac?
Dude, like what do we do?
He has a little midi, doesn't he?
Zubac? I mean,
and he averages like 16 and 11.
No, I like Zubac.
Why are we trying to be like, I want Jalen Duren to be Bam Adebayo? Why can't we get a big that averages 16 and 12 for us?
Zubac, he's more athletic.
Okay, but yeah, like the Rudy Gobert athleticism and Zubac type big, like 16 and 12.
He can do that, Booner, by giving you like a mid-range or two a game.
I think Pistons fans, I think people.
Want this guy to never, not attempt.
No, I don't. I want him to be great at what he's good at. I just think Pistons fans have a problem. You're included in this because you've covered the Pistons for years of trying to make players into people who they aren't. Like people did it with Killian Hayes all the time. People will constantly do it with different players. They did it with Jaden Ivey. They do it with all these different, like trying to make Jaden Ivey being like Dwayne Wade, like. No, like, relax. Like, he doesn't need to be Bam Adebayo. Let him be Jalen Duren. But, like, I want this guy to average 15 and 10 for this Pistons team before he turns into a Bam Adebayo averaging 20 and 12. Can he get to 15 and 10 first?
Booner. I mean, like,
I'm just asking.
I want players to grow. So I think when you're asking a player to grow, it's like, hey, can he implement?
I agree. Growing is fine. Like, I don't like the comp. That's it. The comp really rubs me the wrong way.
I mean, okay, if the whole point is a fucking comp. I mean, how about we just, your part was the mid-range shot. You're like, I don't want to see this guy just taking a bunch of threes. No one's saying he's going to take a bunch of threes. I'm just saying maybe, hey, I want to see him let's see that jumper a little bit, you know? Not saying get away from the back to the basket stuff. I'm just saying, you know. Yeah. Hey, Truth Teller said Bam didn't have a jumper first 3 years.
I think Bam had it. You knew what Bam was.
Why does he make both?
You knew Bam. You knew Bam could shoot that. He had a little bit of a midi.
No, hold on. We gotta fact check what I think you're just spitting this like he's got to Google it. There's no way.
I'm going to Bam Adebayo rookie highlights. I want to see his rookie year.
I mean,
what year was he a rookie? 2017. Let me see. If there are any in this, Jeff, there better not be a jumper.
Jalen Duren
first play is a midi. I mean, what are we doing? First play is a mid-range.
You realize Jalen Duren has made jumpers. I'm saying more consistent.
Yeah, but like, I mean, this guy just backed him down and just did a Dirk. I mean, if you want to be like Dirk, go ahead, man.
I don't know what you
say. Truth Teller, Booner puts people in a box if they don't develop a meet. Wrong. I think Jalen Duren can be a 15 and 12 guy in this league. I want to see it.
You threw me in the box. You're like, you Pistons guys, you just want these players to do things that they can't. Like,
I just think it's like, hey, like get very, very good at what you're good at, right? Like Jalen Duren is an elite. He can be an elite big. Now, once you get to that point to where you're averaging 15 and 10 with your skill set, okay. Now you start, and I don't mind if he adds the mid-range in this year. I've already said that. Like, I'm fine with it. But if it starts taking away from his actual game and him kind of not developing because he's more worried about stepping out and hitting a little midi, and he starts shooting bad, and he's not focused on getting to the rim, and he's not focused on easier shots, and it starts hurting the team a little bit, that's my issue. Like, he just caught a massive lob from Cade Cunningham. That's what I want Jalen Duren to do.
That though. That's
my whole point from this is I don't want him to take away from that. And if he starts, my whole point is, hold on. My whole point is if that it starts, I already said I'm fine with him adjusting and kind of getting into that midi. I'm fine with that. But if it takes away from his actual game, I'm going to be mad.
Okay. I'm here to tell you
that happened to Isaiah Stewart.
But that's a different situation. They were trying to make him play the
same
four.
One in the same organization.
They were trying to make him play the 4, Booner. Jalen Duren.
That's my thing. Like, are they going to try and be like, Jalen, you need to start shooting? Like, come on now.
No, but Isaiah had to jack up threes because he was sharing the court with Jalen Duren.
I'm just saying. I'm throwing it. Okay, I get what you're saying. I'm throwing it out an example. I would like you to respect my example.
I don't know. I mean, as long as we agree, it seems like we agree that he should develop a mid-range at some point. Just don't get away from.
Yeah, just don't let it.
I don't think that's even the case. Like, he's always going to catch lobs. He's always going to be what he is. He shoots like 70% around the rim, Boon. He's great at that.
He just got another lob. Like, this is what I want to see Jalen Duren do all night long.
He's going to do that, Boon. You're acting like he's going to always do that. Don't worry about it. Like, I love that. He's athletic. He should always.
That was my point from the start. Was literally just.
So we argued about it. So you agree?
You just didn't hear what I said from the jump.
No, Boon. Don't do that. You do not do that. You know what you did, and you know it, and the chat knows it. Everyone in the chat knows it. We're all on the same stream here. We did not agree. Now we do, and that's fine. He's good. He's athletic. Obviously, we know. Like it's like a Sar Thompson. Like I want a Sar to develop a jumper, but I don't want it to take away from what he does. Like I'm not saying turn into Clay. I'm saying
I do think Asar is a little different because Asar is a guard where you need him to stretch. You need him to stretch the floor. You need him to be able to knock those shots down.
Yeah,
like Duren, you don't need it. It will help for sure.
In the modern NBA, you at least need your 5 to be a threat, not a consistent 3-point shooter. But it's better to have a threat.
Listen, I'll say this, and I will stand on this. I don't ever want to see Jalen Duren try to shoot threes in his career.
Not even be a threat. I'm
mid-range. I'm fine with him being a mid-range threat. I just don't think maybe if he goes maybe one here and there, but I just don't see Jalen Duren ever being shooting 30% from 3 to where you're like, yeah, he's a threat. I just don't see that.
Okay. I think if he wants to become a star in this league, he's going to have to.
I do want to throw this out there. Nick P said, hot take, Knicks win the East this year. I'm going to throw it out there, Nick. Don't know if that's a hot take. I think they're favored to win the East this year. I think it's the opposite of the hot take.
Yeah, I don't think that's
I love the optimism on that though.
Jason Tatum's out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I go to
a weird spot, it's kind of open, the East. I mean, the West looks freaking. And Tyrese Halliburton out.
Let me see. I think they're the favorites actually.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, I would imagine.
No, it's Cavs, Knicks, 1-2.
Yeah, I mean that's okay. Cavs.
So weird seeing Duncan Robinson in Pistons uniform.
I love it. I mean, I absolutely love it. Etienne says, "Who's your guys' MVP pick?"
Luka gets one. He looked so good yesterday too. Did you watch Luka last night?
I didn't watch the game. No, I just watched Thunder and Rockets.
Luka in shape, Jeff. In shape, Luka. He's dude. I think he shot I don't know what he shot from the floor. He
balled out,
dude. He did it with ease, and they still almost came back and had an opportunity to win. And it was just him and Austin Reeves.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched that Thunder and Rockets game. SGA.
Yeah, he just gets every call, and he doesn't actually get fouled. Okay. Now, if you watched it, it was ridiculous.
Did you see his shot to send it to overtime?
The shot, yeah, I'll say the shots and everything, but some of the calls in double overtime, it was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah,
KD locked him up, and the refs just boop, and then they get sent him to the line. It's actually, it is, I'll say, it is frustrating, especially down the stretch in a game when it's he just gets a ghost call, and then he gets free throws to take the lead. It's that's just not fair. The ref should be told, just don't blow your whistle in the final 2 minutes. Let them play. That should be a thing.
I agree with that.
But he gets all the calls. That's why they won so many games last year. That's why they won the finals, was because he gets those calls in the final 2 minutes. And they don't swallow their whistle, which they should. I think that's a fact.
I think that's insane that they won because he gets calls.
It is.
He gets calls, but come on.
Listen, when you're trying to get a stop in the final 2 minutes of a 1 or 2 possession game and you're in the bonus, a ticky-tacky call that he keeps getting, but then on the other side of the floor, they don't get those ticky-tacky calls, but SGA does. That's a problem. They should be looked at. I thought that going into last night, I was the refs were taught this year, swallow your whistle in the final 2 minutes with SGA. And they did it. They blew it more.
Yeah.
He's good. He's an MVP. He's great.
He's great.
He's great. He's a top 5 player, if not the best player in the NBA. But that doesn't take away the fact that they do win a lot of their games because they get the calls from the refs. I was drooling there for a second. I was just mad.
Mad. Yeah. Well, I mean, this NBA. I mean, it's. I don't know. I mean,
you don't like what I said? You seem very taken aback.
No, I mean, I just let you say it. I mean, it's freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want. I mean,
thank you. I appreciate it. It means a lot.
They just popped up the Pistons schedule. Though they have the Magic, They got the Celtics Sunday, and I forget they played. Was that the Cavs? Or no, I forget who they play. Tobias jumper midi, little turnaround fadeaway.
Bang! I did. He's in my parlay. He is in my parlay.
I'm sorry. Can I just say I hate watching Josh Giddey play basketball. He's
good. What are you talking about?
I know. It has nothing to do with his talent. It has nothing to do with his talent. I don't know why. I think he had the allegation.
One of my best friends in college from Australia looks and plays identical to Josh Giddey. If my friend, I tell him this too, and he knows this. It was me, him. I remember I was sitting in a car, me, him, and Eric Davis. Eric Davis, who played at Saginaw High, or no, I think he played at Arthur Hill. And then played at Texas for Shaka Smart. ED, great dude, by the way. Unbelievable dude. But we were sitting in a car one day, and I looked at my boy, and I said, if you had your life together or any sense of brain in your head, you would be playing and doing what Josh Giddey's doing. Because he's like 6'5", 6'6". He's a guard, and he's got a jumper, and he's like long. He's literally the size of Josh Giddey, plays identical to him. Identical. And he's from Australia. He's from Melbourne. Identical, plays identical to him. We all tell him too. And I just say if you just had, and he plays over there now, like the NBL and stuff. So he got it together. I love his pops too, but he got it together. But I remember just in college just being like, dude, if you just wrap your head around this, like we could get you to the league, dude. Like you could do it. Just never did.
I feel like that's the case with a lot of players like that. That have talent, they just may not have the.
You know how many talented players or people that I've coached or worked with at Saginaw, like just dudes were like 40-inch verticals, dudes that had straps, like just.
I saw it was a reel somewhere. I forgot what podcast it was. Who said it? Where the guy was like, you know how many LeBron Jameses there are that didn't make the NBA?
I don't know about LeBron.
Like, I don't know
about LeBron James, but there are a lot of dudes that you'll meet that
but I get
are
what
like they
say,
could play in the NBA if they made the right moves, and that's what it's about. It's about knowing people and the right moves, and getting put in the right positions.
A lot of work ethic. You need
some of the people that I worked with or I'm friends with, dude. Like some of the most talented people in the world. Like, dude, Malik Ellison, one of my good friends, he now actually does like a one-on-one league around the country, and he actually works with Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson, like guys like that. They have a league, and he actually is like one of the best players in it. But he's like Malik Ellison. He could be watching. He tunes in. He's just like 5'8", 5'9". He's smaller. I've told him, dude, if he had another foot, he would be one of the best players in the world. Like he's just that talented, like skilled. He won 3 state championships at Flint Beecher as a starting point guard. He was a freshman with what's his name? Monte Morris. Monte Morris, bigger guard, right? He took over for Monte Morris at Flint Beecher, and he won 3 state championships at Flint Beecher. Monte Morris goes to Iowa State, goes to the NBA. Him, he wins 3 state championships, goes to Eastern, comes to Saginaw. And it just doesn't work out for some people, bro. But he's one of the most talented, I think, pound for pound, talented players that I've ever seen in my life, dude. Malik is so good. I wish I could play some of his highlights, bro. He's incredible.
By the way, Nick P just put in there talking about Reek Woolen. People still want to trade for a corner, man. I mean, I think
kind of out on it.
Yeah, I think for people out there that are looking for the Lions to acquire a corner, I think what you should be. I think this bye week is probably going to have people evaluating positions. I've seen corner, I've seen tackle, I've seen edge.
If you had to do like a top 3 for the Lions, 1, 2, 3, in order, what would you do?
I think it would be. I got to factor in because it depends, like based on who I think will be available. Is that fair? Like because
I think it's like what you think the Lions one. I think it should be a mixture of what they need and what's realistic.
I will say, you know what? I'm going to go. I think I'm still going to go edge tackle DB. But I think if you want to say offensive tackle, I get it. I think the edges that are available are better than any tackle you can get. That's why. But if you want to go, the Lions need a tackle.
I think I would go tackle one.
I just love pass rush. I just want more pass rushers.
But what happens? Let me ask you this: what happens if you get a pass rush? You have Davenport back. The pass rusher you get, or Davenport's healthy, and their snaps get taken back, so they don't have as much production. And then Taylor Decker goes down for the second half of the season. You don't have him for a Super Bowl run. You have Dan Skipper. But you could have instead got a tackle, and you could have had Marcus Davenport come back. And
I think the part I struggle with is like I just don't know. And this is like not a cop out. I'm just talking. I don't know. I want to see what caliber of tackles will be available. I think if you can convince me for sure, like if there's
what caliber are you thinking? Because you keep saying that. You've said that the last day.
I think, to be honest with you, like a backup tackle, like Dan Skipper, like that's what I'm looking at. Like I don't think like what are we thinking? Like
higher level. I think there's going to be tackles available. Maybe not starter levels, but I think right in the middle of Dan Skipper and Taylor Decker, like that middle ground.
People keep bringing up Cam Robinson from the Browns.
Oh, Browns. Was he on the
Jags? He's 30 years old. I think was he with the Jags? You might be right.
I thought he was. Sounds very familiar.
He was with he was with the Jags. You are right. But here's the thing with like Cam, like he's having a terrible year. Like and he'll play better with the Lions, you'd think, but I mean, he's the 71st ranked tackle out of 77 on PFF. Like he needs like take away the PFF rankings. He's allowed 2 sacks, 2 hits, 7 pressures. He has 6 penalties. Like, I don't know. Like, is this what we're getting here at the deadline? Like, that's why I'm like, I wonder who will be available. That's all. But you're right. They do need like depth period. Cause I hear Dan Skipper, the thing I hear about Dan, and I forgot who I heard this from or where I saw it, but apparently his knee, like one of his knees is just significantly weaker than the other knee. I don't know if that's like a permanent thing or he's dealing with that, but he's like kind of on eggshells.
Dan Skipper?
Yeah. He's like dealing with that. It's not like a bad issue, but it is like a pretty big, like one knee is apparently weaker than the other by like a lot. They do like the pressure test, I guess. I'm not a doctor. Nick P would know. Nick, it's like the pressure they do with the knees, and I guess one can handle more pressure than the other or something. One's stronger than the other.
To be fair, like he's been in the league, like when Frank Ragnow got drafted, Dan was already in Detroit for like a couple of years, I think. So he's older. He obviously doesn't have the wear and tear though, right? I guess sounds like
Skipper's a big dude, bro. Like he's like 6'10", like he's probably got wear and tear on his knees. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so to your point, like he probably does, even Dan Skipper being there, like he's not. Giovanni Manu's out, Taylor Decker's banged up, and Dan Skipper, like he's kind of dealing with that a little bit. Nick P says they shrink test the body. I did hear it from credible. So one of the Lions reporters, one knee's like significantly less stronger than the other. So I don't know what that means. But
significantly
he's been dealing with that issue, I guess. Because remember, he was waived with an injury. Remember the injury he had? He was waived. He's still kind of dealing with that. He plays on it, but
that's interesting. Actually, that's very.
So
I think they're at a point where they need a tackle.
Their tackle spot's not good.
I don't even think it's a situation where it's like you keep bringing up where you're like it depends on the like. I just think it's like no depend. You need to get a tackle. I think that should be priority number 1, especially if there's that knee situation with Skip. Gio's obviously hurt right now or something's going on with him. You have no one after Taylor Decker. Like you have Skipper and that's it. And he's going through his own stuff. I think it's like a must. I don't know how you look at that tackle position and be like sort of confident outside of Taylor Decker.
Steve says probably could get Braxton Jones. They're not trading him in the division.
I think there's guys out there like, dude, I truly do believe there are tackles out there, especially some of these lower level or these lower teams in the standings who, maybe have a backup that they're like, hey, we can get a piece for this tackle. Like we don't need him going forward. And he's starting for that team now and you can bring him in and he can be your third guy. I can guarantee you like the Jets or someone has something like that.
I wonder what kind of trade deadline we see from Brad. That's what I think one of my things I'm looking forward to seeing is kind of like what mindset is Brad in going to the trade deadline? Like, where are you at? Not that you'd be desperate to make a move. It's not about being desperate. It's just, where do you want to add? Do you believe in a tackle? I just think DB, I just don't see it. I think they got to see how much depth they have at DB. Like when
for sure
DJ Reed gets back, Taron Arnold will get back. You got a Meek that can play outside. They got Rock Yassin, who's been really good as a backup corner. Like they have 4 guys. Okay, well, now we're getting into the Knicks Whitesides of the world, your boy. Like they got dudes back there on that DB spot. Safety, Thomas Harper's now the third safety. Like I don't think they need a DB. I don't know. Okay, hot take. I don't think they really do.
I didn't think those
get back. I mean,
I think there's a world they don't bring another secondary player. And
I agree. I don't see.
Can I bring this up too? Like, I think there's a world too, and like you said, you don't think there's going to be one available with the tackle spot, to where if there is a starting caliber tackle available, where Brad would pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Especially if he has like a year or two on his deal, and you can move on from Taylor.
That's what it would.
I think, like, say a younger tackle who's starting. I'm going to throw the name out there. I don't think, but who's the left tackle for the Jets, like, or the right tackle? Younger, probably that. I'm not saying that will ever happen. It's probably a 0% chance. But that example of like a team right now that's 1-5, 2-6, whatever it is, and they do have like a higher level tackle, and they're like, hey, we have to rebuild. And let's just kind of move on from some of these, maybe a bigger deal or a younger player that we know we might have to pay in a year or two and that we don't want to pay. And that's like your starting tackle for the next 2 years. I do think, Brad, this could be an opportunity or a chance to, if they don't feel comfortable with the shoulder of Taylor Decker, to make that move.
Yeah, I mean, I think the tackle, it's going to be usually when a team's trading away a tackle that is like good, it's because they suck and don't really see, they want to rebuild and trade away pieces, or B, they just don't want to pay the player. Maybe he's in the last year of his deal and they don't want to, because usually teams aren't just trading away a good tackle that's they love. Usually it's got to be that's why you probably look to teams that suck or players that are on the last year of their deals and the team isn't going to sign them to an extension.
And you are right though. Like, there's probably a very, very small chance of that being available, but for the small chance that it is, I would hope that that's something that Brad would consider doing.
Yeah. Like someone said, Andrew Thomas from the Giants. Why would the Giants trade away Andrew Thomas? They just drafted their franchise quarterback.
Yeah. The Giants aren't, someone in there said the other New York team, Booner. I would think, I don't think the Jets are going to trade their tackles. They have two very good young ones, so I don't think they will, and they're building. I don't think the Giants would either.
Yeah. They want to protect Jackson Dart. I don't see why they would trade any of those guys away. I mean, the Jets, Membu they drafted, who's elite. He's been really good this year, but Fashanu has been all right. I mean, their O-line has on paper is pretty good.
Imagine if you had Josh Simmons right now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised how bad their O-line's been, the Jets, because they have talent. Like
they do.
They have Joe Tittman at right guard. He's good. Membu as a rookie. Fashanu, Josh Myers at center.
How bad have they been, or is it just their quarterback?
Oh yeah, they're all. Yeah, it's every. I mean, apparently, according to the owner, they just can't win a game because of Justin Fields. Yeah, he sucks. But which is a whole nother thing. Steve says talking about Nick P. Andrew Thomas on last year of his deal. Yeah, but I just don't see a world where they don't want to keep a guy like that. Like Andrew Thomas, dude. Like one of my good friends is a Giants fan. That dude would cry if Andrew Thomas left. Why would they? And if you're Joe Sheen, why would you ever?
Said that dude would cry.
Dude, he's one of the best tackles in the league. I mean, he's great. Andrew Thomas is great. I don't see why they would do that. I mean, that'd be stupid. That'd be like malfeasance if Joe Sheen said, "Bye, Andrew Thomas. I have a young quarterback." What the fuck? Evan Neal though. Evan Neal sucks. Wait, is he better this year? Oh no, he sucks. He still sucks. Okay.
All right, never mind then. I like that. Evan Neal was good. Yeah.
Is he like?
I think there's going to be names. I think we just need to keep an eye out for names at that position. I would put that as a number one need, in my opinion. I think edge is one of those things where we've all pushed for a while. I think AQM has proven enough that if he's healthy, you can get with him, and then as well as if you get Davenport back, you're taking snaps away from right. Like Davenport was getting a lot of snaps with AQM, even with AQM.
Yeah,
I think you're at a point now to where you can limit what Davenport's doing and hopefully keep him more healthy. And you've had other guys kind of come in there, and the pass rush has looked decent. Like you're top 5 in sacks. So I don't like the edge. Yeah, it's a need, but I would put more of a need at the offensive tackle position personally. If you want to win the Super Bowl, I think the edge is like the pretty piece. Like that's like the diamond. Like, oh wow, what a gift. But I think if you want grit and grimy, you have to get a tackle if you want to really win.
Yeah, that's a linchpin right now, holding this offensive line. If he's out, dude, if like God forbid something happens to Taylor Decker,
you could figure it out without Marcus
you would have
Davenport.
to like really figure it. Yeah, like Marcus.
You can't without Taylor Decker to win.
No,
a Super
I mean
Bowl.
left tackle is one of the most important positions in football. It's more important than defensive end. I mean, I think. It's more important. I always tell you my position rankings: quarterback, tackle. I mean, now we're getting into like wide receiver, defensive end. Or actually, I put defensive end over wide receiver, and then DB. Like those are like you're looking at some of the best. That's the most important positions of football, right there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm with you. If Taylor Decker's out for whatever reason, that's terrible. You got to move. If he goes out for the year, you got to move Panay midseason. I mean, I don't know how you do it. It would be tough on him, but that's tough to deal with that. That's really tough. Someone put Carl Granderson. Carl Granderson's he's on a contract that I don't think Brad would ever even entertain. I mean, he's like, that's my point.
What's his number?
So let me see his contract. He's under contract. So that's the, let me see. He signed a 4-year, $52 million deal. That was I think it was a couple years ago though. It says there's an out. You'd have to eat some dead cap, but he's making like 12. What is he making? His cap hit for 2026, if you keep him, is 18 million, and then 18 million the next year.
I don't hate it.
18
gets you production.
Well, yeah, no. Let me see what he's doing this year. I mean, he's good.
Is there an opt out?
He has 4.5 sacks. I mean, he's pretty good. It says you can get out of it this year, this offseason.
Then that's a deal you look at. If you can get out of it,
you have to eat some cap. You got to eat a little bit of money for it, but
it's like the Zedarius one.
Yeah, you got to eat some money for it. But yeah, I mean, Carl Granderson's pretty good. He's got 4.5 sacks through whatever amount of games.
No, go
on.
I was just saying, I just do really look at it. If you do get an edge and Davenport ends up being healthy, you have, AQM who has 5 sacks on the year, and then you have Davenport, and then you have another guy. Like, what's the rotation even look like? Like, you're giving up capital to go out and get someone to sit half of the snaps.
Well, I will say the Trey Hendrickson stuff I will comment on. I feel less confident the more they win that they're not going to trade him. I mean, Joe Burrow's coming back, so I would think that they would probably
if they stay close to 500.
Yeah, even though I think it's like you should get something for him. They're probably going to think they could probably keep him, to be honest. By the way, Star Thompson has 1 rebound.
Yeah, not great. I think he just got put back in the game. Yeah, no, did he? Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, he hasn't been doing much. The Pistons are down like 15.
Yeah,
they're not looking great, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, they were minus 148 to win this game.
They should win this game. Like they're a better team.
Oh my gosh.
Who is? And they're down like 17 now. I also have Dyson Daniels in the parlay today, Jeff, to get 18 points, rebounds, assists. Guess what he has?
Paul Reed
in the first half.
What would you say? Sorry, Paul Reed
Dyson
banged
Daniels.
a triple. What does he have?
I need 18 points, rebounds, assists. He has 2, and it's about to be the end of the first.
Just
half.
got a bag too.
Yeah, and
he
has 1 assist, 1 rebound, and 0 points.
I think he had 100 million. Dyson Daniels.
He did, yeah, 25 a year, I think.
Paul Reed. He's a threat, Boon.
B-ball Paul.
Yeah, B-ball Paul.
Come on.
He's a threat. You got to.
Oh, Tiger scored, by the way. JT Comfort.
Oh, really? You said the Tigers scored?
Oh, Red Wings, sorry.
So, honestly, what's the score? What is the score of that?
1-0. 1-0. 1-0. We're about to have the doc on here. I would tell you what, if I'm being, I would have loved to just watch ball all night. Like, watch the Pistons and the Wings. Watch puck and ball.
Puck and ball. They're making these acrobatic shots around the rim.
It's
I'll tell you what. Dude. You better get a fucking hand up, Paul Reed.
Yeah, what's going on, B-ball Paul?
You gotta get a hand. Oh!
I'm interested what the doc has to say about some of these things. We haven't talked to him since this win, the secondary and everything. So I'm interested to hear how he feels. And the bye week for him. The bye week.
Yeah, I want to see what he's doing on this bye week. That was disgusting what I just had to witness.
We should throw people in the chat. Everyone put in there.
Green airball the fuck.
What do we think the doc's doing during his bye week?
Strip club.
I would say he's just hanging out around the pool, but it's cold out, dude. It was freezing today. Were you outside at all?
Yeah, it was raining a lot.
Dude, I was downtown. It was freezing. We were walking downtown, and I'm just sitting there like shivering. I had a sweatshirt on. Raining, windy, cold. It's ridiculous, dude.
We're getting into
it's about that time.
We're getting into that time, man.
Yeah. Anakin said freezing rain. Yeah, driving home was brutal too today. Roads were terrible. You know one thing I hate? This is a pet peeve. I know we're waiting for the doc to hop on. Are we allowed? Should we just chat it up?
Yeah, and then I gotta tell you about our friends over at Sleeper. But go ahead.
I'm just saying I hate people when it's like raining and it's not good weather who are just like still going like 80. It's just like, dude, like slow down. Like you don't need to be going like you're supposed when there's weather like that, you're supposed to go under the speed limit. Like,
yep.
And you're gonna kill me one day. You know what I mean? It's like it's cool. Hey, you're cool. You can go 80 in this pouring rain where you can't see anything. Then you kill me, and then I'm dead because you lose control. Maybe you should be safe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's raining and cold. Poor baby, Steve Wilds. Listen, that's not the problem here. It's the driving fast in rain. If you do that,
I just hate people who drive like idiots in the rain, in the snow.
Yeah, people don't know how to drive in bad weather. I don't know why. A lot of people don't know how to. Before we have the doc join, let me tell you about our friends over at Sleeper, because Sleeper, by the way, has a great promotion going on right now. And allow me to fix my. No, let me fix this. This isn't right. There you go. Let me tell you about our friends over at Sleeper. Sleeper Fantasy, which, by the way, they also have a free $20 entry, which you guys can use, which is separate from the CT Sports code you can also use to get 100% match up to $100. But Sleeper is one of the fastest organically growing fantasy platforms in the world. They had over 6 million users in 2023. They're continuing to grow. They still earn some of the highest levels of engagement per user in the industry, because at Sleeper, it's not just about sports. It's about building personal connections and lasting memories. You should check out Sleeper Picks. It's a lot of fun. All you got to do is you head on to Sleeper, and they got a real money product. It's essentially just, it connects friends over picks. Think of it like that. Choose 2 to 8 of your favorite players. It could be from pregame, live, across different sports. Pick more or less than the predicted stats. On Sleeper, you can get up to 1,000x payouts. Share with your friends, get rewarded together. And like I said before, use that code CT Sports, get 100% match up to $100. Shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring as always.
I have a present for everyone.
The Pistons a night in Detroit. Time to go to work.
Caleb crosses. Throws it down with 2 hands.
Ignites the crowd again. We keep stacking wins one possession.
A night in Detroit. Time to go to work.
Caleb crosses, blows by his man into the lane, hangs, throws it down with 2 hands.
The Pistons star guard.
Okay, this is just
a night.
Oh, bro. That is unbelievable. I'm sorry I had to play that. He sent that to us in our group chat. I have to.
That is absurd what he just did. He
so
posted that on social media.
Put that on Twitter.
Anakin says, "Is that AI?" No, it is.
That's
not
actually AI. Caleb. He plays for the Pistons.
Caleb in a Pistons jersey, making plays.
See, it's really weird. The Pistons, like when Cade's not on the floor, I feel like a star should be in control of the offense, and he's just like standing there in the corner watching.
Yeah, he's got that comes with. Remember we were talking about earlier. This,
yeah. If you want it, yeah.
This is the difference with guys that are stars in the league, bro. Like, give me the ball.
Look, he just passed it, and guess what he's doing? He just passed the ball again. Guess what? He passed it to Jalen Duren. He just went to the corner, and he's standing in the corner now.
You got.
He's letting Duncan Robinson run the offense.
And Duncan just,
3 straight possessions. Asar is the best player on the floor, and he just passes it and runs to the corner. 3 straight possessions.
You can't get blown out. That's embarrassing as fuck. They gotta figure that. They gotta figure this out. That's embarrassing, dude. You're down.
Those are kind of good, though. I'm not going to say they're better than the Pistons, but like they'll probably be competing this year. They have a nice roster. But either way,
competing's the right way to say what the Bulls are. Compete. That's. You shouldn't be down 17 to them.
No, 19 now. It's brutal. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, Hans just said Parley's finished early.
Yeah, all of mine are dead.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. Let's just get to the DOC, man. Because
I don't know if he's alive over there. This bye week's really throwing him off here.
He's connecting to the right camera. That's what he's doing right now. Or he just has a tape over his camera. Maybe he's doing something.
Yeah, what's happening?
Something that Sports Illustrated can't find out about.
That's
what he's doing over there. Oh, there he is.
I mean, he's in this is vacation, Doc. White tee.
I know. I'm
no
excited
polo.
to see this.
I'm not putting the polo on during the bye week. No.
Let's bring in our good friend. You guys know who it is. The man, the myth, the legend. Covers the Detroit Lions for Sports Illustrated. The entertainer. The podcaster. Lone Wolves Podcast.
Hashtag podcast.
He does it all. He has his own YouTube channel, which you guys can subscribe to. Link to check out his stuff will be in the description. Please welcome to the show our good friend, John Maakaron. Hey, what up? The DOC, how we doing?
Fellas, yeah. Nobody loves the bye week more than the DOC. Oh, my goodness. Slept in this week till like 10 o'clock in the morning. Oh, my goodness, man. It was amazing to catch up on some sleep, and I'm having a good time listening to some content regarding the Detroit Lions. Now the Pistons and Wings are starting. There's a lot of good stuff going on, man. It's a good time, too. Lions are 5-2. All is right in the world after that Chiefs loss.
Hey, Doc, are we sure you're not going to go on the boat with Za'Darius and Cash Doll? Is that a rumor that you got invited, or is this something that we just are finding out about? What's going on with this?
Yeah, man. Look, he saw a little bit of the taste of the football life. He's like, no. I'm telling you, this is why vacation's bad for Doc. When you're a guy that works hard and you get up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, you start working, start typing, and then you start sleeping in. You're like, man, should I start retiring? But no. Listen, the Doc, Cash Doll, and Za'Darius can't hang with me, man. If they partied, they would be burnt out pretty fast.
Wow. Well, Doc, I do want to start off by asking, there's a lot of shit we want to get to with you today. I mean, we have the bye week. We got the Bucs game on Monday. I do want to talk a little trade deadline as well. I think that's going to be some good conversations, especially with you, Mr. Ad, which I think is a great content for today. But let me start by let's start with the Bucs game. All right. The Lions won in primetime. The defense shined. What was kind of your takeaway on what Kelvin Shepherd did with this secondary against this Bucs team in this defense, and kind of just the job Kelvin's been doing so far, and maybe the differences between him and Aaron Glenn this season for you, Doc?
Yeah, man. First of all, look, I'll be honest. I did a prediction, and like most of my staff, I picked, because I know on paper the Lions are better than the Bucs. I picked the Lions to win, but quite frankly, I did not respect the defense enough. Quite frankly, I thought that the Bucs had getting Evans back, Egbuka. I thought that the Buccaneers would have a little bit more success. I picked the Lions to win, clearly because they're the better team. I'm not certain why anybody would pick the Buccaneers with all their injuries, and knowing that it's a home game at Ford Field, knowing that the Lions don't ever lose back-to-back games. It's been since 2022. So going into that game, I was fairly confident, but we have to really take a step back and appreciate what Kelvin Shepherd's doing. We all joke, and we all joke around when Dan Campbell, some people roll their eyes and say, when he says next man up, and that's why people legitimately for so long freak out when there's so many injuries. But listen, I think it's time to turn the page and say, you know what? Let's credit this coaching staff for preparing players below starters. I mean, you got guys like Nick Whiteside contributing. You can't ever sleep on Amik Robertson. You can't sleep on Thomas Harper, Rock Ya-Sin. These guys are guys that want to compete, and they respect the message from Kelvin Shepherd, which is, hey, this might be your chance to cash a check. This is your one shining moment. Go out there and ball out. And even though most people thought the Buccaneers were going to score multiple touchdowns, man, let's credit Kelvin Shepherd for what he's done. Listen, he's already in the conversation to be a head coach. It probably won't happen next year, but I would say that don't get too comfortable with Kelvin Shepherd. I think he runs the defense this year and next year. You might hear his name in interviews right after this season, because if you listen to Amik Robertson's podcast, he really said it. It's like the scheme is similar. There's obviously some different variations to tailor certain schemes and calls to the players. And clearly the former linebackers coach is having the linebackers dominate, which is amazing. But one thing that Amik Robertson said was that he's just the way in which he relates to players, he challenged Amik Robertson to be a better version of himself than he already was. And he did that to a lot of players. And I most certainly did it with the linebackers. He's challenging these guys to take ownership of this defense. And man, it's just a pleasure to watch. I love watching a team that can pressure the quarterback at that rate. You'd love to see more sacks, but hey, the way in which this football team bats footballs down, punches the football out, what you're seeing is, I think what Aaron Glenn was able to do was to install the defense, get them to understand it. And now when you have a new voice in the room in Kelvin Shepard with just a couple tweaks, adding a couple more zone concepts, the way in which they blitz from different angles, the stunts, the ownership that he's given to these players, you're seeing a next level version of this defense. It's beautiful to see. We need to give the defense credit for stopping Baker Mayfield. Season lows in a lot of numbers. And I was just sitting there marveling at the game going, wow, the Lions defense is actually carrying this team in a way that can help an offense that's still kind of having a couple games where they're not firing, man. It's just amazing to see. I love it. When I go back and hit the clicker on the film this morning, even though I'm a sicko, I should do other stuff. I'm sitting there watching Alim McNeill get all those pressures early, looking like the Alim McNeill of old. I'm seeing Amik Robertson battle, punch the football out. It is amazing to see a team that can have a defense live up to the expectations that we've all had for them.
Yeah, Doc, I mean, we can get back to the defense a little bit later, kind of the nitty-gritty of the defense. I do want to just get your thoughts on this offense, especially the last 2 weeks. We talked about it yesterday that obviously on Monday night, offense didn't look as, where you kind of want it to be or where we've seen it be, through weeks 2 to 4-ish or 5. What are your thoughts on this whole offense right now? D-Mont kind of struggling a little bit, Jamo struggling a little bit, and kind of getting into that whole thing with this offense right now.
Yeah, look, I thought about this because I knew we would talk about the offense, and I was looking at that when I was watching film and looking at it holistically. Let's take a step back. Remember, the Lions are playing a tougher schedule in regards to the teams that they're facing. They're playing a first-place schedule, being that they won the division last year. These teams that they faced with the Packers and the Ravens and the Chiefs and now the Buccaneers, they have defensive-minded coaches that are really excelling at trying to pick apart the Lions offense. They're doing things to try and take away the run. You look at it from just a basic perspective. If you look at the Lions, Dan Campbell always wants to run the football. So you're seeing a lot of stacked boxes. You're seeing a lot of attention given to, getting as many bodies up front as possible to stop the run. And they're saying, okay, Jared, just try and beat us. We understand that you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, you got Jahmyr Gibbs, but they're trying to take away at least Jameson Williams and the deep threat, and they're trying to stop the run. So it's not always going to be pretty for Jameson Williams. But, of course, there are things that John Morton can do better. It's a offense that can get better, which is amazing. But first and foremost, let's start with the positive. Jahmyr Gibbs is a legend. He's emerging as the Alvin Kamara that we all want to see. And if you're Dan Campbell, I think you ride the hot hand, man. It's a different thing because of the fact that he's got that speed, elusiveness, and he brings the juice. It's just a little bit different style of runner than David Montgomery. David Montgomery is facing all these stacked boxes, and he's got to, battle to get back to the line of scrimmage. It's just a different style. Now, also remember, you have to credit Todd Bowles. You have to credit Steve Spagnuolo. These guys are expert at what they do, and John Morton is still 7 games into this second run. He's got all the weapons, but it's not going to be finely tuned all the way. That's why this bye week came at a perfect time. It'll get better. Most notably, I think what you guys are maybe seeing too is that on third down, they're not as good. After turnovers, they're not scoring as many points. There's a lot of what they call empty drives where they're not getting points. A lot of self-inflicted type stuff where they start a drive with a penalty and stuff like that with Taylor Decker coming in and out of the lineup. So this is great. They're 5-2 with stuff to work on. And yeah, more mouths got to be fed. And I do believe that if you get David Montgomery going against some defenses that aren't as good as what you faced, you get Jameson Williams more than 2 targets. These are things that clearly John Morton, when he's sitting at home going, okay, what do I got to fix? He's got 3 more mouths to feed. And just imagine when the rhythm with Sam Laporta gets as consistent as it can be with David Montgomery. By the time they hit the Dallas and the Steelers game and the Giants, they're going to be kicking ass again. And I'm very, very excited. But to your point about Jamo and Montgomery, look, man, Montgomery's just dealing with the challenges of facing defenses that know what's coming. You know, they stack the box and say, go ahead, try and beat it. And luckily they were able to maneuver, and credit Morton for scheming that touchdown, man, with the blocking scheme and how Amon-Ra St. Brown was able to clear out and get one of the linebackers to over pursue. It was a beautiful play design. Go watch it again. It's just beautiful to see Jahmyr Gibbs hit the hole and boom, he's gone. And it was amazing. Literally, I'll tell you the experience. I was sitting in the press box. I see the play happen, and I got the little goosebumps because I was in the stands when Javid Best back in 2011. I was sitting there as a fan, and I remember the roar come over me, and I just kind of felt it. I had to kind of calm down a little bit. I almost said to myself, wow, it's like I tweeted deja vu. I literally felt the same thing just watching him hit that top speed. It was amazing. It was just a pleasure to watch Jahmyr Gibbs get a home run in front of the home fans. It was awesome. And remember too, Jared Goff, this engine goes as Jared Goff goes. He can play better, and he will play better. I still think that, you know, teams are pressuring him. They're coming from different angles. They're testing the young guards. And there are times where, you know, unfortunately, Taylor Decker is not at 100%. He's battling out there. So you can get better plays. You can get, it's all of this is what's so beautiful is if you had me on the show 7 years ago, we would be complaining that they lost that game. We literally are in a time where the Lions can get 5-6 key injuries. Their left tackle is not 100%, and they're still playing efficiently and effectively. It's just an amazing, amazing time. So I've taken the last couple weeks to say, yeah, I have complaints, and yeah, I always worry, are they Super Bowl caliber? But right now in the bye week, in a moment of white, pure reflectiveness, 5-2 is a great spot to be in right now. It is, truly is.
Yeah, I mean, Doc, it's a good spot to be in right now, despite even offensively, there's maybe not putting up all the yards in the world, even though they still had over 400, almost 400 yards against the Buccaneers. I think a question to ask you, and you kind of alluded to it, is Taylor Decker. What's kind of been your evaluation of him? They decided for him to play. It seemed like he was injured throughout the game. It seemed like he was battling that injury. What has been kind of your takeaway with this whole Taylor Decker thing? And do they need to be extra careful with him? Because this is a guy that if he goes down, Giovanni Manu's already out for the year, and Dan Skipper, you know, is always a little banged up. But what do you think of the Taylor Decker stuff?
No doubt about it. And really fast to your point, my man Stevie W, I get paid to talk. They have me on because I can formulate thoughts in an
This is true, by the way.
This is what I do. I talk for a living. I literally became a media member off of the words. So yeah, I can talk for, you know, I'm trying to say when I first started the YouTube channel based on the advice of my fellas here, I was like, I should do 30 minutes. Then I just start talking and an hour and a half goes by and I'm talking about 5-6 different things. Yeah, bro, I was a quiet soul up until I was 30 years old. And once I discovered that I have a voice, yeah, I'm a talker. And so much so that over the last 2-3 weeks, I've been drinking tea because I've been losing my voice. I've been talking so much, never turning down an interview. And really, I'm humbled that the guys give me the platform. I know it gives them a break a little bit to listen in and to get some inside information and kind of decompress from their long days and stuff like that. So I appreciate it too. And with Taylor Decker, man, he's a grinder. He is an absolute warrior to go out there and want to battle, but he's not 100%. And thankfully, this bye week will, I think, help him to be able to continue. And Dan Campbell said, look, you know, he didn't have his best game. Clearly, Taylor Decker was mad. He's a perfectionist. He doesn't want to give up pressures. He doesn't want to have plays broken down because of things that are not crisp along the offensive line. But, whew, you know what? Take it as is. Appreciate what he can do. Appreciate the fact that he's battling to be out there. And you could argue an 80% Taylor Decker is still better than Manu and Dan Skipper. So, yeah, it's listen, this team can be easily carried by the defense. You just need the offense not to turn the ball over. You need them to eat the clock a little bit. And this offensive line will get better throughout the course of the year. You're seeing growth from Mahogany and Tate Ratledge. Penei Sewell is an absolute warrior. So for Taylor Decker, you know, it sucks because, you know, Dan was asked on Tuesday, you know, are you concerned? He's like, he's battling. He's gonna, you know, they're hoping that the way in which they handle it with him with limited practices can keep him afloat. But yeah, you're absolutely right. For those in the chat that wonder, this could be his last ride, but hey, let him go out as a winner and let him go out and battle and be out there. Remember too, he just turned 32 years old. So time flew by. Remember, he was a Bob Quinn guy. So he survived some eras, and give him credit for battling and wanting to go out there to help this football team. And to be, listen, over the last 3 years, when he said, he really got pissed when guys like me and others said trade him. And for me, I said trade him because he was an asset, and you felt like, hell, you needed more talent. And he was a guy that you could potentially want to see have success and get some assets for him. But he took it offense to that, like, that he wanted to be part of something special here. And you can see the way he leads. He's open and honest. And he's actually a very nice talk. When you talk to him, he's open and honest. I asked him, it was great. He gave me a great answer, almost made me laugh when I asked it, because you have to ask it, but he knew what it was right away. I asked him when they faced the Bears, I said to him, it's on camera too, it's funny. I asked Taylor Decker, I said, listen, there's a lot of people that give Ben Johnson a lot of credit for this offense. What do you say to those kind of people that give him, like, that kind of have said that this offense, the success of the offense is based off of Ben? And he's like, I don't really know what a lot of people are saying on the outside. He goes, I don't really mess with speculative gossip. And I almost started laughing because I roll all up in speculative gossip. That's the business that I'm in. So it was funny in the way he said it, but he's like, we got talent here. We do a lot of good stuff too. And, he's open and honest, and he calls a spade. And that's what you respect from a guy like that.
Doc, another offensive player I just want to ask about Jameson Williams. The whole situation about that, kind of more in depth. I see Jeff laughing. Jeff, what are you laughing about?
No, nothing.
No, go ahead. Share with class. This is a fun night tonight. What's so funny?
Well, Doc kind of went into Jamo a little bit.
I know, but I just want to get more. I mean, maybe if Doc did, I just want to get a little bit more in depth here with the Doc. Is that fair, Doc, or no?
Yeah, absolutely fair. Jamo's
there was the post, all of that going on. I'm not saying I ever think Jamo would get traded or anything, but there's fans that are out here actually throwing that out there. More in depth, Doc. Talk to me about Jamo.
Yeah, no doubt. It's listen. Wide receivers are a unique bunch. They're like podcasters. They're like people like me that we just flourish and just share our feelings sometimes way too openly. Everyone wants to know what was that about? Like, I get it. He probably at the base level is not happy with the game with 2 targets and no catches. Now, you look at it and you say, at the very basic level, there was more for him, but the plays just didn't work out. And you also got to remember that the formulation of a play is not just drop back, throw the ball, and he's open. Some of those plays involve certain blocks. Some of the plays involve, with Jared Goff, which is tough, is Amon-Ra. You see the difference. Amon-Ra is literally, I'm going to use the word, don't laugh, chat. This is a word that means stringent. I'm going to try not to laugh myself. Amon-Ra St. Brown is anal. And what that means is he will run a route to the exact point over and over and over and over again, and will catch a ball from Goff over and over and over again, to the point where they know where each other's going to be. Like Jared Goff can mind, just kind of look, and Amon-Ra is going to be where he needs to be, and the timing is just flawless. It's a little different with the deep threat option where you're throwing the guy open 15 yards down the field. Now, I do believe the fair assessment is he's being misused. You can use Jamo in a lot of different ways. You can hand him the ball. You can, is it wrong to throw him a dig route, a slant route, put him in the slot? Is it wrong to just throw him a variety of routes that you said he could do? Similarly to Amon-Ra St. Brown, it doesn't have to be as frequent, because clearly Amon-Ra's the guy. The relationship that he has with Goff will never be topped. It is, 1 and 1A. They think alike. They're California guys. They're in tune. It's amazing. It's just Amon-Ra's number 1. He's getting paid the most. He gets the most targets. He is absolutely the guy. For Jamo, you got to get a little more creative to scheme him open. You got to take those deep shots, and what really opened my eyes was I watched diligently on Sunday. I don't know how much you guys watch football when the Lions aren't playing, but I watched from 1 p.m. all the way till 11. And I saw that beautiful game between the Eagles and the Vikings, and the commentator said it, and I know it too. The Eagles, the Vikings are a team that takes away the deep ball. That is their specialty. They don't let a lot of players go over the top. And what do you see? Devonta Smith, like literally John Morton should just go to the Eagles tape and watch what Devonta Smith did against the Eagles, what Devonta Smith of the Eagles did against the Vikings. He was open. He was schemed open. They used the run action and the run to set up deep plays, even though it's against a Brian Flores defense. Sometimes you have to find ways to get this guy more involved. And I know, listen, you got to take those deep shots. That might also help David Montgomery, where the threat of the run or the pass is a little more unclear for these defenses. But, look, first and foremost, those deep passes will happen. They're going to take those shots eventually. But to me, I feel like if you're Jamo, you got to tell, like, boss man, hey, John, get me involved in the offense early in the game with some pitches, some end around, some opportunities to run the ball. Like, get the ball in my hands, and I can be a similar Jahmyr Gibbs type playmaker in this offense. I think it'll happen. It's I don't say the things that people say, well, too many mouths to feed and things like that. No, I'm like, this guy should be in the mix. It should always be Amon-Ra, Gibbs, and Jamo. You don't pay a guy $25 million to block. It's a great asset that he does it. You pay him to do it. But this guy can be a weapon. This guy can get you yards. There is no speed like him. So you got to get creative, and you got to get as anal with Jamo as with Amon-Ra St. Brown. They got to get on the same page, and I hope they do. And listen, if you're Jamo, it's just not going to play well to put those memes out there. Everybody knows, man. It's unsaid. Listen, we know it. Everybody on the lines is competitive. We all know if you get 2 targets and no catches and no yards, you're not going to be happy.
Right.
But there's no need to do it publicly. People say, well, Jamo's matured and that's not mature. That's not something that you need to be doing. That's something AJ Brown does. That's something all the divas do that are wide receivers. We all know naturally, let the idea of assumption be that if you get 2 targets and no yards, you're going to be pissed. Like, you're a competitor and everybody's upset with it. So you don't need to put boredom emojis or sad emojis online at 5 a.m. in the morning, because all that's going to do is just draw attention, because a guy like me has to write it and we got to talk about it. And you don't need all that smoke. It's just not needed as a professional. Part of being a professional is sometimes letting things that everybody knows, don't put it out publicly. And I think that's where, Jamo's still young, and, the influence of social media. You don't need to do that. Like, everybody knows you got 0 target. You got nothing. You did nothing. Nobody would expect you to be happy. Go out there, and then the next game, get with Jared Goff and make it so that this offense can get you some targets. And I think it'll happen. But there's going to be more games like that. But what is it? I think if you guys accurately look it up, he's only got 17, 18 catches this year. That should be almost double, in my opinion.
Yeah, Doc, I think a big you talked about the defense earlier, but I think the return of Alim McNeill was massive. He obviously looked great. But can you talk about the importance of having him back and how good he looked? Because he kind of cut into Tyleek's snaps and DJ Reader snaps a little bit. So you're going to see more of a rotation with him in the lineup. But what do you think him being back means for this defensive line that's already playing really well going forward?
Absolutely. And then really to your commenter's point, Steve, I just told you, the Vikings schemed to take away the deep ball, and the Eagles overpowered it. It can be done. It don't do that. Oh, we take what the defense gives us. That's what happened against the Packers. If you're proficient, you can do whatever you want. This offense, and trust me when I say, with the level of talent that they have, when everybody's healthy, they can do whatever they want in any variety. That the offense that you saw against the Ravens, the Bears, and the Bengals, that offense is there. It's all about execution and timing, and it's about the Lions. This is a spot now where guys like Steve and those in your chat have to realize this is a different era. This is not we're going to take what the defense gives us. No, this offense with the capabilities they have, you have the pieces to do whatever the hell you want. You want to throw it deep, go do it. But you got to set up plays correctly. You got to have the right sequencing. You got to have the right execution on a given play. And also, when Jared sees a stacked box, he's got to check into the right play, and then Jamo has to do it. So what I'm saying is it's intricate. It is very detailed and very, very exquisite. And it takes time to potentially get revved up to that point. But don't tell me, oh, well, Tampa 2 and all that kind of stuff. If you say that, then guess what? Jameson Williams is going to be the highest paid blocker in the history of the NFL. That's not going to happen. He will get his love. Trust me. The yards are coming. The dances are coming. This offense can do whatever the hell it wants. And Jameson Williams will be a part of it. Trust me. There's no way he'll be happy to live with that. And then on the other side, you get Alim McNeill back. That's like a free defensive tackle addition. My goodness, it was. I actually, in my mind, it's interesting. You can kind of see now how I think. When Dan Campbell talks scheme, I'm starting to not believe him anymore. Like and actually I'm starting to read it too. When he said, and I have not a way to report it other than I say a little bit on the podcast. When Dan Campbell said, I want to get more balance between Jahmyr and David, I didn't believe him. I said, why? I said, run the ball through Jahmyr. I just kept saying the opposite. And it's true. Dan is just lying in the media. It's great to see. He is doing the gamesmanship type stuff. It's hilarious when you're so in tune, you can see it. When he said Alim McNeill was coming back for 20-25 snaps, I was like, I could see 30. I could see more, but I didn't expect over 40 snaps. They just brought him back in and he was ready. So it goes to show you that when they trust you to go, you go. And what a beautiful addition, man. Batting balls down, the skill level that he's got, he really is underrated, worth the money that he got. He brought it. What you see defensively is, man, which is what you love when you're hitting the clicker. The attention that he gets opens things up for the linebackers to do their stunts and their runs and to get open. It's amazing to see the puzzle come together and to open up for guys like El Quidine and for DJ Reader. DJ Reader's flying around out there. So, what a addition. It was awesome. It was amazing to see him back. Good for him. And I like talking to him. He's always open and honest, and he's easy to talk to. And man, what a great addition. What a welcome sight to have Alim McNeill back. It's going to be great. I'm sure he's chomping at the bit to get back on the field for game number 2.
Yeah, Doc, I want to just ask, heading into the bye week now, what are some things you're looking for coming out of the bye? Obviously, 5-2 before the bye week with the new coordinators. I don't know if a lot of people expected that, but a great record heading into the bye week. Obviously, you need a lot of guys to get healthy, especially the secondary. But what are some things you're looking for, and what guys do you expect to be back coming into this Minnesota Vikings game?
Yeah, man, it's amazing, man. It's going to be fun with the bye week. You heard Malcolm Rodriguez should start practicing, which should put his timeline to return in November, which is great. I expect him to practice for a couple of weeks. Clearly, Davenport will probably end up being around practice, but in a couple of weeks, but won't play until later in November, which is going to be just fine. Players that you're hoping to return, Josh Pascal, you got to wait and see what his situation is. What I'm interested too is Wingo is healthy but can't get on the field, and that's a wild thing to say when you got Roy Lopez basically stole his time. He's been a healthy scratch for the last couple of weeks. So Terry Arnold is probably on the track to get back. I expect him back at practice this week. Yet to be seen about Minnesota, but he practiced, so I do expect that there's opportunities potentially for him to get back against Minnesota. And then what's great is that I think the game after is the Commanders. You probably will get back DJ Reed. So my goodness, the plethora of guys coming back, is going to be amazing. And you get Brian Branch back for free, which is great after the suspension. You hope Kirby Joseph knee. You hope that whatever has been causing the irritation or whatever's been causing the continued injury and stress, you hope that it calms down over the bye week and he's able to get out there. It hurt him to miss time, but my goodness, man, the secondary that they put out there did the job. They forced turnovers. Mollett got an interception, I believe, and you had a punch out from Amik. And my goodness, it's going to be a little bit different challenge with Justin Jefferson, but I can't wait to see what it looks like when the Lions take the field the next time. Over the bye week, a lot of it's going to be rest, and the blessing of what Dan said is going to be giving the guys, like the coaching staff, some assignments to get some guys a little bit better in terms of consistency and to scheme up some things that will probably help out. I'm sure that the tape of the Chiefs can continue to be reviewed and learned from so that you don't get picked apart in the zone. The offense, has to be crisper on third down, has to get the running game a little bit more creative. And I think overall you could clean up so much stuff that it's just going to be great when they take the field again against the Vikings. I think there's a big chance they're going to go 6-2.
Well, Doc, now we're sitting here, 7-8 weeks into the year. Lions are 5-2, Packers are 4-1, Bears are 4-2. What do you think of this NFC North right now with the Bears winning 4 straight, Packers continuing to win? How do you look at this kind of NFC North for the rest of the year and how it lines up? you still confident in what's going on, or you think it's going to be a little more difficult than fans anticipated?
I hope the fans listen to what was written on Lions on SI and what we said here. The NFC North is one of the best divisions in football. Listen, there's opportunities that every team has ebbs and flows, but you got quality coaching. Clearly, Ben Johnson's message is resonating. And, I know his post game is a little bit corny, but they're bought in and they've won a stretch of games. That's a good sign for them. The Packers obviously dealt with an injury, and when you lose a Spartan dog like Jaden Reed, it changes the dynamic of your offense. It has not evolved the way in which I like, but the defense, Micah Parsons is doing his thing to carry that team. They don't get a lot of style points for their play, but it's going to be competitive. And the Vikings game will be also very competitive. But Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, the edge goes clearly to the Lions. And I always believe that when you have a team that can pressure the way the Lions do, Carson Wentz it could make some careers. Meaning that Amit could get an interception. If Rock Ya-Sin gets an interception, Brian Branch, listen, here's the thing. Brian Branch is coming back. If he takes it the right way, we could be seeing an unleashed Brian Branch, now 24 years old, pissed off at the world, lighter in the pocket by $200K over the course of his career with all these fines. It's amazing to see the solidarity that all his teammates had. If he doesn't come back and get an interception, something's wrong. He's gonna ball out, or he's gonna pop someone on the Vikings, and hopefully it's Addison, because that guy's getting a little too comfortable out there. Even though Addison's on my fantasy team, my goodness, I can't wait to see the Lions try to stifle the Vikings. But guys, the division's tough, and that's why the success that the Lions have had winning it back-to-back has been remarkable. And listen, every division game is one in which the Lions focus on even more than other games because they know the value. And after losing to the Packers, beating the Bears, the Vikings game is going to be circled and everybody's going to pay attention. But yeah, Carson Wentz is going to jack up that team. Carson Wentz is going to hurt the Vikings and help the Lions. I'm excited to see it. I would say my bold prediction for that game is Carson Wentz don't even finish that game. The Lions are going to make him look silly, and they're going to make him so confused and so devastatingly challenged that he's not going to finish that game. And I can't wait to see it. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the success of the Lions and the way in which they can win a lot of different ways. They can win a grinded out game. They can do so much. I expect the offense to get better, and the defense is going to I think have themselves another good day. How do you not build momentum off of that? You got confidence that your reserves were able to pressure and do some things. Bring it again, baby. I can't wait to see part 2.
Doc, trade deadline's coming up here as we get back at the bye week. I think it's around November 4th. I think it might be the exact date, actually. What are your thoughts here? Me and Jeff actually have had a lot of conversations this week about the trade deadline. I'll tell you kind of my side of things. I think the number one priority should be offensive tackle. And not obviously, we talked about it, probably not a starting caliber or a Pro Bowl, like an elite offensive tackle, but someone to where if there is a chance Taylor Decker at some point this season goes down and you need someone in there come December, January, February, right now you probably aren't as comfortable having a guy like Dan Skipper in there if you need to go on a Super Bowl run without Taylor Decker. So I had them I had the offensive tackle at priority number 1. We also had edge rusher at 2. And then the last priority we had was secondary, but we kind of got to see the secondary this week, the depth of it, which kind of takes away from that. But do you see a similar kind of thought process going into the trade deadline, those positions, or where do you kind of see this trade deadline going? Because I think it's the week they come back next week. It's boom, trade deadline's there. So there's a chance that we see a new player versus the Minnesota Vikings on this team after the trade deadline.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it. You hit the nail right on the head. You're absolutely right. Tuesday, November 4th, 4 p.m. So set your calendars for that Tuesday. That's when all the fireworks is going to happen. It's going to go right to the deadline. Those calls will be in a scenario where it's going to be, something to pay attention to significantly. Now, it's going to be the philosophy of Brad Holmes. Look, the only thing the Lions can do as a team is win games. Let Brad Holmes know that this team is worthy of not doing what Scott Harris did. I feel like this football team should add and should go bold. And look, you probably aren't going to get the highest of high-end players, but you're absolutely right. And you said it. And I'm trying not to write the headline because I'm sure the editors that read now on SI and people. But you're absolutely right. What the Lions need at the deadline, everybody listen up, they need Doc. Clearly, defensive line, offensive line, and cornerback. Get all three, baby. They need Doc. Absolutely flawlessly plan. Go out there and get the best of the best. See what you can get to upgrade. I'm always of the opinion to add competition to make your team better, to add impactful players. You're hearing all the rumors. You know it already. People were starting to talk about the trade deadline last week, which is crazy. But that's the way it is. You start to look at the NFL calendar, and I'm very excited for what Brad Holmes does. Even if it's a role player, look, any addition that he feels can help this team, I'm going to be on board with. I'm feeling, and listen, I might be in the minority because I say it every year, but since 2023, I felt like this Lions team has been legitimate Super Bowl contenders. And I don't care about what happens in 2026 and 2027. As long as you got Goff, Hutchinson, Panay, you got them under contract, I'm up for a little risk. I'm up for sprinkling some dollars to some of these people. Look, Phillips is interesting. It's intriguing from Miami. You have opportunities maybe to get Granderson from the Saints. Cam Jordan's older, but he knows everything, so that's fine. The name that, to pay attention to, because, clearly it has been established that Kelvin Shepard loves guys from LSU. Arden Key is a guy that's been referenced to the Lions quite a bit. You hear his name all the time. It makes a lot of sense on a bad Titans team. He's a guy that is a veteran leader, can do some things, and would come in right away and have a great relationship with the defense. So pay attention. I do think there's going to be a move. I don't think home run. I think that nationally he'll probably get a B minus for what he does. I think it'll be safe but potent. Now, I'm of the opinion. Now, that's the professional side. That's the guy that says, okay, what are people saying? And I did. I had a chance. I also reached out to Ricky Scoops. He talked to me. And you know what he told me? He told me that the Lions are in the market for a defensive end. And I was like, no shit. Thank you. Thank you for the scoop, brother. And pay attention to that. Bark, bark, bark. He told me off the record because he's not on Twitter anymore. But I told him, listen, I'm going to go on the record with it. The Lions are interested in a defensive end. Breaking news from Ricky, not from me. But I'll say this. Now, that was the professional side. Now, this is me personally. I want to go all in, baby. Go for it. Figure it out. Find a way to get some impact. Maybe even a wide receiver or an impact running back, a tight end. Go for it all. Like I am not a guy that is bound by limits. Clearly, whatever it takes to help Jared Goff, you do it. Offensive line, another left tackle, maybe another veteran, maybe another guard reserve. Whatever it takes, I'm all for it. Add, yes. That's how I've always operated. I don't care. Like people say, and I understand the other side of it. We can have that debate. You say, hey, if you push all in this year and it flops, you now have some more cap peril. Maybe you lose a player like Branch and Laporta and you don't have as many cracks at it. I don't care. I want to go for it now. Like I think the realistic window with this team is basically this year and next year. Jared Goff's going to have to work some maneuvering because this cap is going to go sky high. You got to pay more of these guys. Someone's going to not get paid. You cannot legitimately pay everybody. So there will be some shuffling of this team. So I just think the window's now. They play good. The team is great. You have Jared Goff in his prime. Go for it. I saw it too. Nick P. I said it too. You saw Olave spinning the football on. I saw his plays that he was making. Yeah, go for it. Yes. Everybody that can ball, go for it. Let's do it. Like, what are we waiting for? We're all starving here. It's the Lions, and they're 5-2. They're right up there, and you're neck and neck with the Eagles and the Rams. And, guys, the Rams are, hate to say it, with this Stafford cat, they got Devontae Adams, and that connection seems to be a lot better than the Jamo connection is with Goff. So that's going to be a little bit scary. I don't want to see the Rams in the postseason as is. I want more. I want potency. Listen, I don't care. This is just, like I said, the professional side I gave you. This is just Dr. Fan sitting down with a beer. I'm like, I want to win the freaking trade deadline. How fun it was I don't know what you guys do after wins, but I was definitely sitting there listening to ESPN glaze the Lions, Pat McAfee glaze the Lions, Rich Eisen glazing the Lions. That was fun. Kay Adams, she was talking about something, but I kept looking at her. Oh yeah, she was talking about the Lions and glazing the Lions. I loved all of it. That's why I love Monday Night Football when they go on it and then the Lions win. You get all these segments talking about the Lions are great and have opportunities to improve the team. So I love it.
What about a guy that a lot of people were discussing, but at this point, coming off a win and with their quarterback coming back, maybe it makes things a little tricky, even though it makes a ton of sense contractually, and that's Trey Hendrickson. Do you think that's a player that maybe Lions fans need to, not focus on as much because given that they're trying to be in the hunt with Joe Flacco and Joe Burrow's coming back, or you think there's still an opportunity there to try and get Trey? You think it's dead, Doc?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Now, your chat has caught my attention because as you guys did see, I was featured in the video there. I knew it was going to come out eventually. I didn't put the pieces together that it would come out for the Pistons, but clearly they were shooting their jump shot video right in front of me. Now, it is very difficult and expensive to tailor my pants. Now, everybody can freely laugh, okay? So I'm a 38 waist and like a 26 length, 26, 27. So I'm like, they don't make those and it's expensive to do it. So I don't bother. I do like them a little bit long as opposed to floods. But yes, I will take the ownership as being the worst dressed of the media. I just wear the same 5 collared shirts and a company shirt. I am not there. I'm there for comfort. You know what I mean? I'm there for a long time. So I just wear oversized stuff. I just throw on things and go. And then what I do, I do look sharp for the psychology practice. Yeah, that's me right there. Yeah, there you go. Great. That's pretty bad. That's not too bad for a daily outfit. It's better than t-shirts and shorts. But yeah, look at the difference. That guy is 6'7". That guy is 6'7", and I'm 5'4". But it was fun to see them do their thing. And yeah. And
you're the best, Doc.
Those pants are a good 6 years old, bro. They're good 6 years old. Good 6 years old. Because listen, listen, my money goes elsewhere. It ain't on my listen, let's be honest with the chat. Let's be honest. Would you dress up a 5'5" bald Middle Eastern man that does podcasts? Come on, bro. My money goes on watches and restaurants and booze and all this stuff. It ain't gonna go on clothes. I'm already married. Like, I don't have to, flirt with Syrians or Italians or Chaldeans. I don't have to flirt anymore. I'm married. I'm but I do got to be careful that if the camera's there, maybe I shouldn't stare right into it anymore because y'all are starting to comment on my wardrobe now. That's awesome. But in all seriousness, Trey Hendrickson, the dream is dead. The problem is there's hype with Joe Flacco. There's a chance, winning that game that they won sucks. You need them to lose so that they don't have hope. But listen, they've come out and said, listen, I don't think that you sell to your fan base, you're going to give up on Trey Hendrickson unless you got a dream package. I mean, what you're hearing in the pundits is second round pick. That's not enough for a talent of his size. I would love it. I'm sure the calls are being made, but if Ricky hasn't said it, I don't know. Tell Ricky to come back. What's wrong? I don't understand why the dude disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't know if the smoke.
Yeah, we need our hero back. We need the
hero back. We need the guy, the biggest accurate Detroit Lions source there is. Man, I'm telling you, Aiden Hutchinson has been finalizing his contract for 70 days. That's a long finalization based on the history of finalizations. But, that's here nor there. I got a lot of respect for Ricky. He answered my call and gave me the prime info that I definitely needed to be able to share with you guys.
Did you actually talk to him?
No, not at all. I don't know. I just, I lied to you. I just said that to be so it's, did you get the joke? The joke of that was, to recap it, Diana Rossini didn't have to get real big information to go out on The Athletic and be like, I'm hearing the Lions are calling for a defensive end. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the big, huge nugget of information there. Guys, I'm really thinking the Lions are going to need that defensive end. They're going to really need that upgrade. So I just found it funny. I think the more fruitful report would have been where people give some names and some some ideas, some little more, because we all know that. Like Booner could have did that report and said the Lions are really interested in making some calls for defensive ends. I think that you should report that if you have it, but you should also drop some names and drop some like teams to look at and step it up a little bit more than the basic of what the whole world knows about the Detroit Lions. So that was the joke there. And I got it from Ricky, my source. Listen, the Lions are great at keeping things tight. You get a general sense of what they are, but they're going to keep things tight to the vest. You don't get those kind of reports too often where you get a report that says Brad Holmes called the Bengals and he said no. Like Brad likes to keep some things private, so it's good. And listen, that's her job. But the first thing, and remember too, you're talking to me. I'm a guy that's involved with the Lions each and every single day. So that nugget of information does nothing for me. It should do nothing for you, Steve, if you're a fan of the Lions. Did you really think the Lions would have no interest in defensive end? And maybe they don't. You got El-Quadin Muhammad. You got, Dave Davenport coming back. That also may be just a generic type of report there, because the Lions may not even be in the market for a defensive end based on the love that they have for and the cost and the depth that they have. And they could get Ahmed Hassanin back. So it doesn't really line up with that. So that's just my thinking on it. I like in reporting, I like the generalization of some reports, but to me, my first thought reading that was no shit. That was like, and then you just keep reading. So that's why I joke around with the fellas, and we have a banter about Ricky and his Aiden report and his value. But the good thing is that, I have my side and the fellas have their side, and we joke around because the guy did do good work. He broke news. The problem is that, it's a guy that comes on Twitter, then deletes his it's just weird. It's just a weird way of doing.
He's a pro.
That way. It's weird.
He's a pro.
I don't know what happened to him. You could tell me what happened to Ricky.
He's a former GM that is a pro. You know who I actually think it is? I honestly have a.
You have a name?
I have a thought. I think it's John Gruden.
It could be. It could be. You know what I mean?
I'm not kidding either. Because
it could be Jerry Jones. It could be someone that loves the media, that has a good time with it, that's crazy and has information. It's a fun thing. I hope one day that the person does an interview and kind of shares what the hell it was about to be on it and to not be on it. But listen, man, with the trade deadline, it's going to be wild. The rumors are great. All of them will be reported because you guys care about it so much. It's interesting. I do think defense will be a priority. Clearly secondary. I think that there is competition, but you want, most coaches like proven vets. And I do think Terrion Arnold, Amik Robertson, and DJ Reed will be great, but adding another weapon maybe on defense can be spectacular. It'll be nice to see what they do. They could go safe. They could go just a reserve offensive lineman, and that's it. You pretty much are set in a lot of ways. You could, listen, in the past, you could make the argument that, the Scott Harris approach could work with the Lions this year, but I don't think it'll make fans happy because I feel like, there's good competition, and I want to rest easier. And I don't rest easy when you make smaller, safe moves, and you got a team that I think in the Rams that's a little bit more explosive than I would like. So it'll be the age-old adage: can the Lions defense stop Matthew Stafford? I can't wait. It would be something to see if they played again in the playoffs, but I would still be a little bit nervous.
How are you stacking up? I know we already talked the NFC North, though. How are you stacking up the NFC right now? Because we've talked about a lot. We feel like the Lions are the best team, especially if they get healthy. They're the best team in the NFC, the team to beat. Do you kind of get that same feeling there, or how do you see this NFC kind of stacking up right now?
Listen, I think the Lions are at this point, the way they're playing, the best team in the NFC. I do like what the Rams are doing. Listen, you always got to be mindful of those explosive offenses because they can get hot. Listen, I know people don't respect Dallas, but they got, they're 3-3 with an explosive offense. And you look at Philadelphia, clearly they're a team to beat. Listen, that Mike Evans injury might have been a saving grace for the Lions, the Bucs. If they were to get healthier, I like what they can do. Now, you got to pay attention to, this is crazy. And Dan was asked about it. He was like, my goodness, you got in the NFC West, the 49ers are back. The Seahawks, scary. I want to, quickly shout out my nephew. He was like, before the year, he's like, John, pay attention to Jackson and Jigba. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, pay attention. This guy's going to do something. So I got him on my fantasy team. I got him in 2. And this guy's blown up. Like,
your nephew calls you John?
No, he calls, what does he call me?
No, you said, hey, John.
No, he doesn't call me John, but there's an Arabic name that nobody's going to understand. So he basically was like, we talked about fantasy. He's like, Jackson, that guy's a dude. I was like, my God, you're right. And the pace that he's on. So it's scary. Pay attention to to what's going on out west, man. You got 3 teams that are battling. It's as good as the division as the NFC North. 49ers are 5-2, but Mac Jones is doing his thing, and you always got CMC to worry about. That Fred Warner injury was crazy. Seattle's doing their thing, and you got the Rams. So I look at it like, as we sit, the Lions are the best team. I'm most concerned about some of the teams in the NFC West. But Lions, I think, sit at one. I think if I were to do power rankings in the league, I got them at probably number 2 in the whole league, and then number 1 in the NFC.
Doc, I'm going to ask you because the Pistons are in a tough one right now. I think they're down like 16 or 17 points to the I don't even want to say it, the Chicago Bulls. I mean, but let me ask you your thoughts just on the season for the Pistons. What do you expect as a Pistons? This is like the first season in quite some time that you're going into it with like actual expectations, but where are you at with this Pistons team? Despite how they look tonight.
See, I'm different. I don't really have those expectations. I kind of feel like it's the same kind of thing. My expectation would be get to the playoffs, maybe win a series. I always looked at it like when you lost Beasley, you lost some shooting. It's going to take time for a new team to gel. The one that hurt was you start the year and Jaden Ivey's hurt again. And you're like, that takes the sting out. I want to see, can Ivey and Cade play together? Like, what's going to happen? And that was a little bit of a downer. Listen, my humble opinion is this is a good basketball team that's going to be led by Cade Cunningham. But I just feel like, it's a grinded out, gritty team that's going to play defense. I don't know if, like, you lost a lot of 3-point shooting. Am I at the point where I just say F it and bring back Beasley and whatever baggage it is? I might say it. You know what I mean? The guy did some things that you like. And heaven forbid his investigations. It sounds like he was able to pay off his past due rent. He's good on the books, at least in terms of one investigation. That dude can ball. And you took away a 3-point shooter that helps out the entire team. And really, in the end, can you really bank, and this is a bias, I am clearly biased, can you really bank on Caris LeVert and Duncan Robinson to replace that? Maybe, but the last I saw of Duncan Robinson, his ass was getting benched in Miami in the playoffs. So you're trying to patchwork it. I do kind of feel like it's a team that's going to take some time to gel and get going. But if you see, the thing with the Pistons is they get the benefit of the doubt, is that they get the opportunity to develop guys. So I want to see how Bickerstaff develops. Booner and I have had the debate. I feel like Bickerstaff is a great, what they call bridge head coach. I feel like the X's and O's can always be better in regards to the league. And I'll start my search on who's next around the time of the All-Star game. He'll do a good job. He'll get you to the postseason. But I don't see him navigating this Pistons team through the Bucks or through the best teams in the East. The East can, it doesn't seem like there's some injuries that were had that might open the door for some opportunities. But I feel like Trajan's next move, you like what you saw. I kind of want to see some bolder moves at the deadline when the time comes to improve the team. But I feel like 45 wins should be a good spot to start to expect from the Pistons. But if that's the first start against the Bulls, the first look, I didn't watch, but I'll check out the game tomorrow.
Yeah, the game doesn't look good. These guys don't look like they want to be here, to be honest. Another Detroit team, Detroit Red Wings. How do we feel about them so far, Doc? They look good, actually. And actually, I think I just got an alert. It was 2-2, and it looks like they're down 3-2, just literally as we speak. It looks like Buffalo might have scored on a power play. But what are your thoughts on the whole Red Wings season so far?
Yeah, look, similarly to what people thought. Great homestand, amazing. Get those points, and also too, you credit the team for being able to beat Toronto, Florida, Tampa Bay, Edmonton. You beat the creme de la creme, and that's a good start. But a lot of it was at home, so I understand that. You had better penalty kill, great. I love the infusion of the young talent, and you could always say, well, why didn't you do it sooner? Well, they picked this year to do it, so good. Listen. Did you know that Mason Appleton went to Michigan State? So you always infuse some spark when you have a Spartan on your team. And this Finney dude, is it Emmett Finney? Amazing. What a name and what a start to his Red Wing career. You're getting some decent goaltending from Talbot and Gibson. So far, so good. But I think that what the fan base has kind of been doing with the Wings has been fair. You've seen them have good stretches before. It's not like this team was always a bottom feeder throughout the course of the season. They've had their peaks and valleys. Most people pay attention and get nervous. They get nervous around March when the Wings take a swoon a little bit after the All-Star break, and that's when sometimes they just haven't stepped it up. So I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach. I want to see how this team gels, and now this next road stand will show some things. Look, they've played great hockey. The win streak is great. So optimistic. This team has to make the playoffs. Like, I don't care what Yzerman says in regards to, hey, rebuilds take a long time. We aren't asking for cups. Like the old days before fan-based media and all the hype and how much positivity you can spin out there in the world. Back in the day, there would be clamoring for Yzerman to be fired because he didn't win a cup. Like, that's where it would be at. Like, now it's like, can you just kind of get us into the playoffs? Like, we've lowered the bar for you, bro. We've given you the curve. We've given you the Michigan State Spartan curve, man. Like, we're not asking for Western Conference Finals or Eastern Conference Finals. We're not asking for all that. We're asking, can you get to the playoffs? Can you get to 98 points and at least show something where half the teams in the league make it? Like, we aren't asking for much now. We ain't asking for much, boss. Just get us to the playoffs, and then we can see what you're about. But I like the fact that the team got called out after game one. Like, McClellan said it, like, bro, we've seen a lot of this nonsense. Stop it. And I think that was an early coach momentum saying, hey, guys, like, bad games are bad games. You can't start the year against Montreal like that. So get out there and play hard and represent the winged wheel. And I think they will. And the infusion of young talent is always good. So number one thing is defense, penalty kill, and goaltending. So far throughout the year, they're checking the box. Hopefully they can pick up that point against Buffalo. But they were, I think, favored to lose this game. So we'll see how it plays out.
Doc, we got some questions I want to throw on the screen for you. We'll start, a couple coming in. We'll start with Nick P's question. Doc, maybe ask Dan next week if we can get Jamo and more motion pre-snap.
You know,
that's your thing, Doc. Go on.
Can we talk about motion? Dan Campbell and me have a special bond forever in the pre-snap motion era. But listen, like I said, that first performance was so bad, like the Red Wings. That second performance was so much better. I was told it takes time. Maybe it doesn't. You know, when you get called out on a national scale by far bigger voices than me, then they woke up that this offense needs to step it up and do exotic things. I do think John Morton has brought the trick play game. I like that. But again, listen, I don't want to spoil the party. It was an all-white party day. It was a positive, but be careful. I know that people love the aggression from Dan Campbell. They love the fourth down calls. If you do that in the playoffs, you're up 7-0 leading and you have a drive and you get a fourth down and you toss it in the end zone to a rookie. First of all, I'm not really down for that kind of play call. And second of all, I'm a fan of taking the points, especially if your defense, you got to show that you trust the defense. Regular season against the Bucs that are injured, you can get away with that. That one I highlighted and I said, man, don't do that in the playoffs. It will bite you. So I am on, listen, the team has won a lot of games. There's not a lot to critique. I mean, his challenge decision, the second one was not the best. He owned up to it, but listen, there's not a lot to critique. The first game was clear because the offense looked different. And I feel like still to this day, you know, I understood the gravity of how I asked the question. I still feel like it was a good question, just not delivered the absolute best. But listen, in the end, he answered it. We have a memory forever. And remember, I'm not scared to ask anybody anything. I'm, you know, you see how I dress. So I wear that in public and go out there and show off 6-year-old pants and what that shirt is, God knows how old. So I'm not scared of anything, baby. And if there's something to talk about, I think if there was a media session this week, the critical point would be why is it that after turnovers, the offense doesn't seem to take advantage as much as they could? I think that they want to clean that up. And at times, there's still a little miscommunication in some different coverages where you see some openings where they could be cleaned up. So there's not lots of nitpick at this football team. It's really good. But there are still some things that they got to get better at.
Ghetto Boy wants his mailbag. Do we still fire Smith after he beats up on little brother? I sure hope so.
Doc, you know they're not going to win, right? I don't want to put you in that spot, but we know.
Listen, calling for the upset. I'm calling for Sharon Moore to no, of course not. Come on, guys. I got a credential. I don't even know why. Listen, the universe hates me, man. It's the bye week and it's a test, right? Because I have a credential, but I want to go out to East Lansing. Hopefully the weather's going to be nice. Go out there and tailgate a little bit. No drinking, but I got a credential to be there. I get to check in with Emmett. I don't see him too often because he's based out in, I think on the west side of the state or wherever he's based. So I get to check in with Emmett a little bit. He's a good dude. He's a grinder that covers Michigan State. That's how I met him. I saw him in the press box and damn near talked my ear off about some game. I was like, God damn, bro, take a breath. And yeah. I saw his energy and I see the way he tweets about Michigan State. So he's my in connection with Michigan State. So when I saw the way he grinded, I said, man, you appeal to what I like. You want a job? You want opportunity? He's like, hell yeah. So that's how I'm going to be in the press box. It's going to be a tail kicking. I mean, listen, here's the best part. It's not even going to be a tail kicking Ghetto Boy one. You know what's going to be? It's going to be Sharon Moore and that antiquated dumb offense running the ball 50 times, and they're going to win 23-7. And it's going to be a terrible game, and there's going to be no juice. Aiden Childs is going to throw 2 interceptions. He might dazzle, with a couple run plays. Can we at least get some competitiveness? Can Jonathan Smith at least showcase the best performance of the Spartans? That's all we're asking for. We're not asking for much. Just go out there and make it a game. Make Michigan beat you. And the problem is there's just no talent on Michigan State's defense. It's atrocious. They don't blitz right. They don't do a lot. The offensive line is horrible. They turn the ball over too much. They do everything that you don't want to do. And I sit there and watch it and I go, why am I so sick to watch this? And then rewind it and see and pay attention to, there's not a guy. I mean, Marsh is about it. And the tight end, I like the Marsunis. I like him. He's going to develop into something. But other than that, there's nothing there. The Michigan's going to win, and it will be great. I'm going into it with no hope, no expectation. I'm just going there to East Lansing, hopefully on a nice day to walk the most beautiful campus on earth, and Michigan will get the win and keep it moving. But the game there's no juice because everybody knows Michigan's a middle of the road team that's worse than Ohio State, and they're not realistic competitors to win anything. And the offense is, one in which they could do a little bit more to update it to 2025, but they do what the blessing about Michigan is, what they do. And when they do it right, it's pretty good. Run the ball, keep it safe, pound it, offensive line, play good defense, be consistent, and go about your business. But if they open it up with Bryce Underwood, there's a bright future there, but it might not be with Sharon Moore. And I think the Michigan fan base realizes you probably got a 3-loss every year kind of coach, but that's still far better than what the Spartans got. Ghetto Boy, we're still talking about it now. Maybe I'm getting there. We're talking about James Franklin. James Franklin. I feel like, you know what? I don't care. Call up Nick Saban. Just say that you did it. We want Nick Saban back. Call up Nick Saban and say, get these boys into shape and see what they can do. Get the best of the best and bring back some Spartan tradition. But it's so far gone. There's no juice to me. I'm just going there to take the tail kick in and to have Booner make fun of me and the Spartans. It's just such a downer because nobody expects it to be. I don't even know what's Michigan favored by. 7? I don't even know. I don't even care to this point. They've beaten me down to the point where you're like, James Franklin, can you sell me on it? Everybody that I talk to, I say, James Franklin, do I want to have a team that wins 10 games and loses to Michigan and Ohio State every year? They're like, still better than what you got. That's where we're at. And that just pisses a guy like me right off.
Jesse asked, question for the Doc. Doc, am I crazy to think that this defense is responding to Shep a tad better than Glenn? Second, Doc, are you in my camp? Or if MSU wins, you still – okay, well, you kind of answered that. The first question. No, good question. Smith has lost the fan base. Everybody's like, the idea is you have a transfer portal. Like you can go shopping and upgrade your team. That means you're not paying attention to it. Basically, it would be like you guys saying, hey, John, your computer sounds off. Your mic is different. And I'm like, oh, sorry. And don't fix it. Like right away, when you tell me, hey, your mic's different. Oh, shoot, I forgot. I can fix it right away.
Like, you didn't go in the portal. Like, the portal is your talent pool. You didn't go in there and get people. That's your talent pool. That's the microphone. That would be like me going in there with a crappy microphone and trying to broadcast 6 days a week. You need the talent. The talent's in the portal. So yes, the problem is that dang $30 million buyout. You bring it down a little bit when you fire him in February. So I think you just give him the year and you fire him in February and you start over. Maybe you get a more bigger, deeper talent pool. So yeah, Jonathan Smith is not big time. He is the definition of a bridge coach. He's not big time. He's not, maybe he could prove everybody wrong, but is Jonathan Smith going to beat out the big dogs in the NCAA playoffs? Probably not. You can't even beat out Sharon Moore, and everybody can beat Sharon Moore. So that's the lowest bar possible. So that's not going to fly well with Spartan supporters that know. Now, if you find people read Lions on SI, which you should, it is a fine website that features edited daily articles, videos, a handful of ads, and whatever it is that you search on Google might end up being looked at and show up on your screen. Meaning, if you looked up tennis balls to buy or golf balls, there might be some golf ball ads that show up in the Google algorithm on the site. It just happens. I'm not selling your information, but the world knows we operate off of ad revenue, and it's a very, very lucrative operation. It's very much something that has kept the lights on for the Detroit Sports Podcast. On SI is our biggest partner. They're the best of the best of the best. They keep a smile. We did, and I assigned Vito. Now, me and Vito, to credit my man, I've credited Emmett. Christian's the man. He's definitely the stats journalistic heartbeat of the operation. Vito is like a dear friend, and Vito holds a place in my heart because he DM'd me for a job. In 8 years, maybe 2 people have messaged me and say, hey, what are you about? What is this? Can I have a job? Vito was the first. He DM'd me and said, I want a job. And I said, what the hell? And I put him through it all. I was hard on him. I was like, I'm going to test this fool. This guy went to Detroit Mercy. He's a journalist. I'm going to put him through the ringer. I'm going to critique everything he did, every comma he missed. I'm like, you're a journalist. You're a shitty journalist. I'm like, they teach you to write and you make mistakes. I got to edit you. I put him through it. I mean, I thought he would quit. He took it all. He took me yelling at him on the phone and saying, where are the deadline? Where is the standards? I mean, I treated him rough just to see if he was gritty to do this. The kid battled and fought back and would be like, you're this and you're that and da-da-da-da-da. And I love him dearly. He knows it. He did an article. Go read it. And me and him collaborated. And I said, your column this week is Kelvin Shepard is better than Aaron Glenn. So go write it. And all I do is we collaborate. And he says, I don't want to write this. I think it's this. We collaborate. And he is truly one of the most underrated columnists out there. The dude can write. The dude can spit an opinion. He's not scared of any opinion to write. And his columns nearly top the stuff I write. And I'm like, Jesus, Vito. I'm like, you don't even do no social media. Nobody really knows who he is. But when his columns go up, there are thousands of people reading it. And that just shows the level of character that dude has. And I tell him every year I write him a fat check for his charity, and he knows it. So I love the guy. He stuck with me in times where no real human would do that. But in the end, read his columns. They're really good. And every month I tell him he's the best. Every month I tell him I'm going to stiff him on his check and don't cash your check. But it means a lot to me that he stuck with me. And I've been loyal to every guy that I've worked with since I started. So Vito's the man. Read his columns. Every game, after the game, his opinions are usually in collaboration. And to your point, yeah, this is a fresher defense with a coach that's younger, new voice, and they're playing a lot better. They're adapting, and this defense is already better than what Aaron Glenn did, because there's no chance in hell they would have stopped Lamar Jackson and had the performance 9 points with Aaron Glenn. It just wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I think this whole, by the way, the Calvin Shepard stuff, he is a breath of fresh air. I don't think anyone can really deny that. Love Aaron Glenn, but Calvin's clearly the better one. Hey, Doc, we appreciate you so much, my friend. You're doing great stuff. You enjoy. What are you doing for the bye week? What are you doing?
What are the plans? Anything
besides
cool?
Working a bunch.
Yeah. No, I've gone to the golf range. I'm just sleeping. There's no in the NFL. There's no real true bye week. What it means is that I get to stay home and not go to the facility, which is great. A couple less articles, but now, unfortunately, what this week is at Lions on SI is it's midseason. So midseason grades. What do we like? What do we don't like? And so there'll be some stuff that we put out on the website. I'll still do podcasts. So it's just basically not getting in my car and driving an hour to the facility, which is great. So you don't see me you'll see me in t-shirts. You won't see me in old clothes dressing up to go to Allen Park. So when you work in the NFL, the real time off is June 10th through July 20th. Those 6 weeks are when you really decompress. Now it's just a moment in time where you just slow down a little bit. So the life in the NFL is crazy, but in the end, when you do this, you hang with friends. We just talked for an hour and 15 minutes. It felt like I've been here for 5 minutes. When you do this job and you love it and you have the support and you get to check out your guys' show and stuff that's aired, this is the best. I have the best life in the world, man. It's great. And I kind of, on some level don't wish there was a break. I want to keep it going, man, because I get into a good routine.
It's an absolute grinder. I mean, we appreciate you, my guy.
Appreciate you guys. Let's talk next week. Let's go.
Let's do it. There you go. The DOC, John Maakaron, joining the show, chopping it up with the fellas here. We got about 3 minutes left, and the Pistons are down 14 in the third quarter.
12 now.
12.
They're fighting back. I'll say this, too, by the way. I've had it on here while the doc was on. Cade Cunningham that does not look great. He has like 10 points. He has 9 assists, which is cool, but 10 points. And he's like giving the ball up, letting other guys do things, and these other guys can't make a shot. I just expected in this third quarter them down that Cade would be like, give me the rock, I'm taking over. He just has refused to do that.
Yeah. I mean, he's his last 3 games against the Bulls, he had 29, 20, and 22.
I don't know why he just doesn't be like, give me the rock.
And he's like on pace for, he's at 10 points going into the fourth, which you never know. Maybe he goes on a little run in the fourth quarter. I mean, it's garbage time. It's getting to that point now.
At that point, you're toast.
I think this lead just keeps getting extended. I mean, I think it's
14 right now.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, they were down 20, I think, at one point. Oh, never mind. It's 17 all of a sudden.
Yeah, well, on ESPN, it says 92-72.
Oh,
so,
well.
They're down 20.
20.
There you go.
It's embarrassing. I mean, Tobias just missed a wide open layup. 2 wide open layups. That's cool.
It's just the Pistons.
I don't know what it is, dude. It's just like you can't open up the season and just look like trash. Like you have to look like you're at least like competing. You know what I mean? Like you have an opportunity to show you're one of the best teams in the East, and you look bad. Like it's not like you just like, oh, it's okay. Like we competed with the Bulls. The Bulls aren't a contender. Like you're getting beat by. You're getting 20-pieced right now, and like I don't know if there's a positive right now. Honestly, I don't think there is. I've watched this whole game. Nothing where I'm like, oh my gosh.
This is so bad.
Jalen Duren has 3. He had 0 rebounds until 2 minutes ago. That's supposed to be the start. That's why I'm saying, like, it's a 1-game sample size, so I'm not going to do. But, like, dude, just worry about getting 15 and 10 before you worry about expanding your game, dude. Like, you're not an all-pro center. Like, worry about your like what you need to be great at. 3 rebounds is insane. A rebound a corner for a 7-foot center. Am I wrong?
Well, yeah, it's just not getting a lot of rebounds today.
Sorry for yelling. That's on me.
You know what? We appreciate you all. Enjoy the rest of that Pistons game. Enjoy what the Red Wings. I don't know what the score of that game is, but
it's 4-2. They're down.
Okay, of course they're. We'll be back tomorrow, Thursday. We'll be joined. We'll have some Pistons guys on. We'll recap what happened in Game 1. Talk some more
flannel
Pistons,
tomorrow.
Talk some more bye week, and we have flannel on tomorrow as well.
Yep.
But until tomorrow, guys, have a great rest of your night. Peace.
Love you guys.